Yay, we're recording. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to this week's leadership Zoom. Gosh, there's so much to be excited about right now. I know our team just popped a brand new 200K. Congrats, Jennifer. Woo woo. And I was looking, and already this month our team has over 100 promotions. It's insane. Um, and it's a crazy time. You guys, we still have a little bit of time left this month for people to grab those bonuses, and then one more month left. So the party is not over yet. You still have time. Don't give up on yourselves. Do not count yourselves out. I have seen so much excitement happen and growth happen in just 4 weeks. So April's the biggest month, usually the biggest, because it's the last month, and all of that buildup of everything you've been doing since January starts to those seeds you planted start to sprout. So it's exciting times are here. And as usual, my favorite Zoom of the week, Tuesday, because I get to interview a different 200K leader in the company, and over 110 different 200K leaders I've been able to interview over the last couple years. And I get so excited for this every single week. And I get even more excited when I don't know someone's story, because it's exciting for me. It's exciting for all of us when we get to hear someone new and their story and their journey. And I have Michele Klawitter on. Klawitter. Am I saying your last name right, Michele?
Klawitter.
Klawitter. I'm like famous name botcher.
It's not an easy one to pronounce.
It's only been one of two ways, and I picked the wrong way. Michele, I am so excited to have you on today, and I wanted to jump right in and start off with your journey, kind of starting us from the beginning. Like, what were you doing before you ever even got into any kind of home-based business or network marketing? And then did you do any kind of network marketing before Lavelle, and how did that go? And then how did you find Lavelle, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right. So first of all, thank you for asking me to hop on. I love being able to share my story, and I'm thankful for my team that is hopping on as well. So thank you all for doing this. So basically a little bit about me is, prior to Thrive, no, I did not do any network marketing. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even realize it was a thing. Okay. So I just worked in an office. I was a real estate paralegal for 15 years. And then I went to work at Virginia Tech in administration in that area. And I'm a single mom. I have been through an interesting marriage, we'll say, and had a lot of negativity in my life. And I also have health issues, and it led to gaining a lot of weight. And I actually, when I was looking at different things, it was just to lose weight. And that's how I was introduced to Thrive, was just from my friend talking about how people can lose weight. And honestly, I just reached out to prove her wrong.
You reached out to prove her wrong. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people are like, yeah, right, that stuff's going to work. I'm going to prove it doesn't work. And it usually backfires, as it did.
For me, it wasn't proving the product wouldn't work. It was proving that anybody could afford it, because again, it was just me. There was no child support coming in. I was actually budgeting $60 a week for gas and groceries. And so when I told her I couldn't afford it, it was legit. Like, I actually was negative in my checking account when she started talking to me about Thrive. So I literally meant I couldn't afford it. And she had this funny little graphic about how people will spend money on nails and purses and their hair, but they won't spend money on their health. And I was like, ha, 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 I don't do that. And she's like, oh, but you can get it free. I'm like, no, I can't. Now, mind you guys, I had like over 3,000 Facebook friends, and I didn't think I could find 2 people to get it for free. But I told her jokingly, if I can be a before and after spokesmodel and get it for free, I'm in. And that was the beginning of my journey.
So you obviously started as a customer. Did you order the product and then you found 2 customers, and then did you switch over, or did you right away switch over to promoter?
So anybody that knows my sponsor, her name is Lori Ford, knows you pretty much do what Lori says. And she was going to start me as a customer. I've actually had known her for about 15 years now. So I knew her prior to this, and we were talking privately. I was living in Virginia, she was in Florida, and we were on a private message. And at the beginning of the conversation, it was going to be, she was going to send me a 3-day sample and start me as a customer. By the end of the conversation, she's like, you know what? I'm starting you as a promoter because what if you could earn $20 a week? And for me, you guys, that was huge. I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. $20? Yeah, that would be great. But you know what? I can't. Like I had that mindset. So I honestly came in straight as a promoter. She was brand new too. She was just about 5 weeks in and didn't really know much about the VIP bonuses. So neither one of us actually ran for those bonuses because we didn't even know what they were.
So you didn't get the bonuses.
Nope.
Okay, so take me on your journey as far as how long did it take you to go 4K, 12K, 40K, 80K, 200K?
All right. So I started, like, my account was set up December 8th, and she sent $100 worth of Thrive through my account by credits, right? So it started that day, but I didn't get my Thrive and start it until December 12th. And I really wanted to be able to get it free because she had given me enough hope and faith that this product was going to be what I needed. And I knew I couldn't afford it. So I was willing to do whatever she told me to do to try and get it free. Now, mind you, I didn't believe it would work, but she would tell me to do it. So her first thing was take a picture of you and your DFT. And it's actually a funny picture because I spent 2 hours getting ready to take this picture, doing my hair and my makeup and everything. And then I did the look down and the camera's down here to get a picture of the DFT. So it was not a great picture, right? But I still did it. And I started my Thrive. And for me, the first couple of days was appetite control, which was huge for me because, again, you guys, I was overweight. This actually is me right here. And this was actually a month before I started Thrive. I actually had gained a little bit more before that. Okay. So I had done that. I actually got the first customer in I think it was like a week and a half. And I kept going because, yeah, I can show that again. Star right there. And actually, you guys, if you write down my last name there and go to the fan page and just search for that word, you'll be able to find my stories. And a lot of them are the before and afters like that if you want to share them. So again, I noticed the appetite control for me. I didn't ever have a big boom of energy. I have a health issue that leads to not having energy and gaining weight and feeling blah and all of that stuff. So for me, just being able to wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning on the weekend was a big thing for me. Okay. But I kept going. I kept sharing. Actually, about 6 weeks in is when I realized I was coming home from work, singing and dancing in my car to a Katy Perry song. And it was like, it kind of clicked like, wait a minute, I'm not dreading the drive home and I actually have energy. And I was in the kitchen with my son. He was like 10 or 11. And he's used to the no mom, right? And I always had to say no, not because I wanted to, but I literally did not have the energy. So I would sit on the couch and watch him play outside with the dog, right? Or I would sit on the couch and watch him do this or watch him do that. I really didn't have the energy. And it was after work in the kitchen, cooking dinner. We were laughing and joking. And he jokingly asked me for a piggyback ride. And I said, yeah. And he's like, wait, really? Like he couldn't believe I actually said yes. And we did it. Like I went over to the couch, he jumped on my back and I went running. And you guys, all I did was share that stuff, right? I was doing the 3 steps. That's it. Okay. But what it was doing for me was I had that slow energy, which was normal for most people. And for me, it was a lot, right? And I was losing weight and I had this appetite control and I was drinking water. And that was also a big thing because I used to drink like a gallon of sweet tea a day and I was sharing what was going on. And my first after picture I took, I didn't see a difference. And they're like, oh my God, you have to share that. I'm like, no, I'm still fat. I don't want to share it, you know. And this is actually that. And you can see that shirt I'm wearing. That's actually a Virginia Tech shirt. You can still see the rolls and stuff, but it was kind of loose and you could see it in my face. And that first picture got me like 5 referrals. And I was like, oh my God, she was right, which I did not want to tell her she was right yet. Okay. But it came to January 1st, and that was the year 2016 when the company decided to do a team wide or company wide VIP reset. And when they decided that, in my head, I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. And it was still within my 30 days, but I was just still unsure, right? I kind of am one of those that I can't see the big picture. I can just see the next picture, right? So I just needed another customer. And then it was like the third person, I was like, okay, Lori, I need a promoter. What do I do? Just tell them, look, I'm going to set you up as a promoter. So this way you don't have to worry about auto ship to get the discount. You're going to order this package and I'm going to send you a free pack of DFT because she was helping me with product. I'm like, okay. And it worked. And then the next one, and it worked. And so then I did have to admit she was right. So I actually hit VIP 1600 during that reset. And it was probably day 38 or 39 that I hit 4K. And all I was doing was sharing. And every time somebody would ask me something, I would screenshot it and send it to her and say, okay, now what? Because again, I had never done direct sales. I had never done anything like this. I didn't even think I could get it free. Okay. And then my new promoters that were coming in, I was just connecting them to her and our other leaders. Right. So Linda, what I said to get people to start as a promoter, because I was in that VIP reset period, is I just said, look, I'm going to set you up as a promoter. So this way you can get the product without using auto ship and get that discount. And we're also giving away a free pack of DFT because she had a bunch from like a buy 2, get 1 free or something. So she threw that in and we would have them. This was back when you could get the $200 package that had also just capsules and 2 boxes of mix. So you got 2 and 2, and then we would send them that third step for free. So that's how she was working that. And so then I hit 4K in January. And honestly, it was like, okay, I really didn't think much about it because I still didn't believe this was happening. I just really still wanted to keep losing weight. And I did keep losing weight. Okay. And I kept sharing about that, even though I hated my pictures. I'm one of those, and I still fight with this self-esteem and self-image. And I still shared it because it wasn't about me anymore. It was about the people watching me and what this could do for them. Right. So I kept sharing, and about, I want to say it was my 9th week of promoting, I hit 12K. And it was kind of surreal. By the time I got to that point in February, I was like, oh, 12K is happening. Like that's where it was. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was just sharing and connecting, sharing and connecting, sharing and connecting. And when it hit, it still was like, yeah, well, okay, we'll see what happens next month. And the next month, March, about 2 weeks in, I was already at 20K. And so then I was thinking in my head, okay, maybe I could go ahead and get a luxury car, because reminding you all again, I was budgeting $60 a week for gas and groceries prior to this. I was at negative in my checking account. I was always having to pay my mortgage at the grace period, the end of the grace period. I would have to pay the electric bill every other month and then the water bill every other month. Like I literally couldn't afford things. And the car I had, I don't know if you guys will even recognize it. It's called a Suzuki Kazashi. And it had like 80, 90,000 miles on it, which was huge for me because it was under 100,000 miles. I'd never had a car like that. Right. But my payment was like $350 a month. And I still was so unsure about myself, not the product, not the company, but myself, that I did not run right out and get that car. And the funny story is, it's a longer story, but I left my house to go get fuel for my lawnmower and came back with a BMW. And it was like kind of surreal when it happened, but I was like, oh my God. And then I shared that. So I just kept sharing, but I kind of halted myself at 12K and I kind of pulled back the reins until Thrive Palooza came around that year. And I almost didn't go. I had all the excuses. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't take off of work. I couldn't find anybody to watch my son because I didn't have any family that lived locally. Okay. And my 200K Cheyenne Wilson had done an incentive, and it was based off of new PPA, right? Your PPA volume. And I kept submitting. And I actually messaged her the week before it ended. And I said, look, I know I'm in first place, but I'm not going to be able to go to Dallas because X, Y, and Z. And she said, well, keep going. And if you really can't go, then you can gift it to somebody on your team. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could do that. Right. So I kept going and I hit it. And I was talking to one of my friends about it. And she's like, why can't you go? And so I told her, she's like, what's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? You work Monday through Friday, just fly in after work Friday. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I could do that. Now, mind you guys, I didn't even ask to get off of work. I didn't even check on airfare. I didn't even see if my mom or anybody could come and visit and watch my son. I assumed I couldn't do it. But when that incentive happened, I said, okay, maybe I could. And I called my mom and she's like, sure, I can come watch him. And then I'm like, okay, but the airfare is going to be way too much. No way I can afford that. It was like $200. And I was like, I just made that last week in commissions. I can do this. And so I went with my sponsor, Lori. It was our first Thrive Palooza. And I'm telling you all right now, if at all possible, get to the annual conventions, because I went there and came back a different person. I went there as a 12K. I came back as a 40K. I hit 40K within a week right after that. And then I paused again. And I paused for about a year and a half. I didn't push as hard as I could. We stayed at 40K, in between 40 and 80. And then the company dropped a rank repeat bonus. And some of you new ones may not know what that is, but you basically had to build a whole new team and them hit 40,000, not the people you already had, right? And then the next month they dropped a rank advancement bonus. So I had these two bonuses I can run for: a 40K rank repeat, which was 40,000 paid out no matter what, and an 80K rank advance, which is like the ones now. You just have to keep hitting it and get the new PPA, right? I didn't even try for it the first couple of months. And the reason I'm bringing this in is because we are in this last time period for these bonuses. And some of you out there haven't even tried. And you're like, well, it's too late. You guys, I had 4 weeks left. And I was like, maybe I could. And so I started talking to my customers, flipping them to promoter, helping them get it for free. And I still wasn't pushing all the way until my sponsor, Lori, hit her 40K repeat. And I called her and I said, how did you do it? And she said, I just went all in. I did a buy one, get one free for 4 hours. And I was like, oh my God. And at first I was thinking, if I do that, because I was like $3,500 away, if I do that, I'm going to have to pay out $3,500 in free product. I can't do that. And then I thought, if I do that, I'm going to get $40,000, right? So I decided to go for it. And let me tell you, I was terrified, absolutely terrified, but I still did it. And within a couple of hours, I hit that 40K rank repeat, which hitting that 40K rank repeat got me closer to 80K. And I did have a live at the time I did the rank repeat, but I inadvertently said, I earned $40,000 because I was super excited. And then of course, compliance, you can't do that. So I had to delete that. But I was crying. I was so excited. People were watching and it was like, oh my God, look at this, And so then they were getting excited too. And the rest of the team was getting excited. And in 2 days, I hit the 80K. So in 3 days, just because I said, I can do this, I earned a $120,000 bonus. You want to talk about life-changing? And it was all because I was consistent. I shared, I kept going. I never gave up. And you guys, I struggle with confidence and self-esteem and that negative mindset, like all of that, but I didn't let it stop me. Okay. And in a month, I was able to earn that without even trying the months before. You can still do it. There's nothing saying right now that you can't go and earn that rank advance bonus. I don't care if you're $40,000 away in volume. You can do it. People have done it. Okay. You just have to go all in and not give up. So I hit that 80K and then again, put on the brakes because I was like, who am I to be a 200K? All right. And I actually went to a retreat with one of our leaders, Elise Leininger. And I went to this retreat thinking it's a business building retreat. And within 10 minutes, we're all crying because it was more about personal productivity and everything up in here. And I learned so much about myself. And that was the first time I actually thought maybe I could do 200K. And I actually finally, for the first time, wrote down I am 200K with a date. I used to be afraid of writing a date because what if I didn't hit it? Right. Well, then I learned doesn't matter. If I didn't hit it, I just changed the date. And that's what I did. And I kept going. And it was about 2.5 years in when I hit the 200K rank. And that video is still live. And that video, oh, you have to have Kleenex to watch it. My son's in that video. I'm crying, happy tears, of course. He doesn't know that. And so he's bringing everything he can to me, trying to make me laugh because he was so invested in this as well. You know, he knew what this meant for me. Why are you crying, Mom? Like he didn't get it. So he was trying to be funny. So, I mean, it's just like this was a whole journey and it was so much more than just volume and rank for me. It was also mindset because your mind will stop you. Your mind will break you. Okay. All the bullies in the world, their words are still up here, but my mind is stronger. And once you decide that you can do this and you go all in and you can do it. I mean, honestly, if okay, a single parent budgeting $60 a week in the negative in my checking account, credit score under 600, can get to 200K, anybody can. I didn't bring a single person with me from another team because again, I didn't even know what direct sales was, right? I didn't bring in a whole bunch of money and throw it at people to get in. I literally brought myself. And I did what my leadership told me to do, even though I didn't believe them. So Lori or Jennifer or Cheyenne would tell me to do something. And in my head, I'm going, yeah, that ain't going to work. But I would do it. And it worked. And it's all validation, three-way calls. If I couldn't get somebody on the phone, I threw them in a chat. I was ignorance on fire. And I just kept going and kept going. I learned a lot throughout that time period. Actually, one of my promoters that's on here now is one that I failed her at first because I got her email, set up her account, did nothing with it. She ended up deleting her account, but then ended up signing up again under somebody else on my team, thank God. Right. And she's like one of my top leaders. Right. So, I mean, it takes a lot of organization and all kinds of physical things. But the biggest thing it takes is that mind. You have to work on your mindset. So that's my journey, Lisa.
Wow. Man, I'll tell you what, like your story is going to resonate with so many people because, you know, most people don't come in and go 200K in a day. Like you're going to hit walls and speed bumps and you're going to stall out. And it's just about, you know, I love how you're explaining it because for most people, the hurdle that they're facing, the hurdle that's stopping them from getting to that next place is their mindset. And once you can get they can get their mind in that space where I can do this. Maybe I could be a 200K. All of a sudden, the doors open and things start to happen to make that happen. And it's incredible. So you've been in how long now? For how many years?
Just over 5 years. And it took me 2 years to believe I really could be a 200K. And I'm kind of backwards. I would hit the rank and then think, oh, I can do this. But again, I didn't let my mindset stop me. I just leaned on my leadership and their mindset and their faith in me and their confidence and what they had learned. Because again, I knew nothing, right? And I'll tell you guys, you're going to hit ranks and you go backwards. And I hit that 200K and then I went backwards because I got scared. I was like, who am I to be a 200K? Oh my God, no, I can't do that. And so I did pull back, but then I didn't stop sharing. I just didn't share as much. And then I started sharing again and then I hit it again. And then I've gone backwards and then I'm forwards and backwards. So you're going to go backwards, but that's part of this journey. That's part of this roller coaster is those valleys, right? So when you hit that valley, don't put on the brakes at the bottom of the valley. That's when you put on the gas to keep going.
So that kind of leads me to my next question. I mean, 5 years, that's a long time. And a lot of people do think, you know, they see the highlight reel. Oh, 200K, what an amazing life. What big paychecks. Things are so perfect. And they're not. I mean, we still have all of those same things that we face that, you know, there's people on this very Zoom right now that are facing things like they've got a heavy leg. they're red legged right now and they're freaking out and they're like, why can't I get this other side? And we've got people on that, you know, maybe they lost a leg to another company and they're like, I feel like I'm starting over, and or they lost rank like you have in the past, or, you know, numbers dropped, or they hate their upline doesn't help them, or their downline stopped working. I mean, the million things that can happen in this business. When you think about the past 5 years, what are some of the hurdles that you feel like you had to push through, and things that have happened, and kind of how did you get past those things? And I just want to mention, you guys, that I have to go into a doctor's appointment. So Chastity is going to be taking over the questioning from here on out. But I wanted to ask this last question before I went in.
So when I started, I did really quick start red legging my sponsor, Lori, and her sponsor and her sponsor. And one of those felt some sort of way about it. And we have since not become friends and we don't talk to each other because of things that happened. And I did not let that stop me. So there was leadership above me that was against me, and I still kept going, right? Because it wasn't about who was helping me. It was about me helping me and me helping my team, right? And my two sponsors above, Lori and Jennifer, they haven't hit 200K yet, but they're not giving up. Neither one of them have. They're still there. There's months that I red leg them by 90%, but they still keep going, right? You can't stop just because of red leg. A red leg is a fantastic thing, because if you think about it, if you're trying to hit 12K and you have a red leg, that's volume you don't have to worry about getting. It's already there. It's like a gift that's packed, that's wrapped and packaged, sitting on the table, waiting for you to unwrap it. And the minute you get the rest of that volume, it unwraps and boom, it's there, right? And I have one team that's in Virginia. I actually moved from Virginia to Florida, and they were rising, and they got to about 140,000 one month. Our best month ever in this business has only been 274. And I say that only, and I shouldn't say only. Our best month has been 274. And then we went backwards, and I've been as low as 60. Okay. I still keep going because they keep going. There's going to be people that come into this journey. The people that get you to 12K may not necessarily get you to 200K. People quit on themselves. Okay. And as far as what a red leg is, basically, so you're the tabletop and you have these legs holding up your table. And if one leg does more than 60% volume, you only can use that 60% of volume towards your rank. You still earn the commissions and everything, but you can't use more than 60% of volume towards that rank. So if you even out, which is where waiting room comes in great, then you're good, right? So think about whatever 60% of 12K is, you can use that from one leg and then the rest from another leg or something like that. And Jennifer, if you'll ask your, like Lisa or somebody, she can help explain it a little bit more than that, but that's basically what a red leg is. And if you think about it, I went from 274,000 and my lowest has been 63. So that's a lot of volume to lose. And a lot of people would have given up and quit. But I have personally seen what this product and this business has done for me and so many others that there's no way possible I could stop. And I challenge any of you, and I know Paul Gravett has done this too. If you think you don't have a story and you don't have something worth sharing, go off your Thrive. And if you're like, hell no, I am not going off my Thrive, then you have a story.
Oh, Michelle, I'm Chastity, and I was so excited when Lisa asked me to step in because I have not heard your story. And I'm going to tell you, I've been in 7 years, and this is what keeps me going, hearing the stories that I have not heard before. And I literally have 10 sticky notes right here of all of the things that you've talked about. And there's literally 250 people on, and there's some people specifically that I was jotting their names down that I know 100% that this is resonating with. And I love the fact that you're being transparent and really showing that we go forward and then we go back. But the fact is you did not quit. And a lot of people right now, well, most of us are women. I do see some men faces. Shout out Toby. I can see you. I can't see all the screens, but you know, we start seeing all these rank advancements and we start comparing, and that limiting belief starts to go, I can't, it's only 2 days left. And you know, I just can't
Rita,
do this.
where
And
were you?
I love the
The
fact,
vodka
Danny, are you mute,
in the
mute for me, Danny? I think.
painting is
Oh.
called
I love those sweet baby voices. But you know, people get discouraged. And I know that you have watched people be right there on the brink of their breakthrough and give up. And what do you say as a leader? Because I'll be honest, I get tired. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help them keep pushing, because that mindset and that self-esteem work, it belongs to me. I can't depend on my leader to believe it for me. Now she can encourage me, he can encourage me, but what do you say to those that are just like, I can't, I'm about to give up, and you know, I just don't know how to keep going?
So that has changed from the beginning to now. If any of you know about the 4 color personalities, I'm a yellow. Okay. And when I came into this, I was sunshine yellow. Okay. All about the heart. And when people would quit on themselves or leave, I would cry, like literal tears, right? Because I took it personal. What did I do wrong? Okay. And it's not about me. And that comparison thing, I've done that so much. People would come into this business after I did and hit 200K. And I would be like, what is wrong with me? And then I kept working on personal development. I kept reading. I kept doing the things that my top leaders had done. And I flipped that to, what did they do to do that I can do? Right. I have, and for me, it's a daily progress. I had 39 years of negativity, abuse, and people telling me I can't, that I've had to push through. And I still have to push through it. The words are still in my head. Okay. So I still struggle with it. The difference is I don't let it hold me back anymore. I have a promoter that's watching us right now that she got up to 77,000, was that close to 80K, and she lost an entire leg and fights for 12K, right? She has never given up, though she has said it, but she's never given up. And what she does, the difference is she reaches out and says, okay, Michele, this is how I'm feeling. What can we do? And I say, get on the phone. And we get on the phone and I give her 1 minute. And I got this from Maria Dillard. I give her 1 minute to bitch, 1 minute to complain, 1 minute to be negative. And then I say, now what can we do to change that? And it's like, okay, what do you want? Well, this is what I want. Why do you feel you can't get there? Well, X, Y, and Z. Okay, why do you think you feel that? And I got this from Elise Leininger because that's what she did to me. Okay, and it takes digging a little deep. It's not always just about, I quit because I can't get that rank. A lot of it is about, you don't think you deserve that rank. You don't think you're worthy of that rank. You don't think you deserve to be a 200K because a 200K is this top leader that's a millionaire that's done all the things and done all this, and they're this huge superstar. I used to look at Cheyenne Wilson and Trisha Caufel and like, oh, like they were the superstars, right? And then I see Sheila and Lori, and I saw you, and I was like, oh my God, like all these people, who am I to be that? And before I hit 200K, I was actually on the phone with Cheyenne, and she was talking about it because we were really close. And she said, you know, you're going to be their closest 200K, and they're going to start coming to you for this. And I started bawling. And she's like, why are you crying? Because I mean, if you know Cheyenne, she's very red. Okay. And she's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, I can't be their leader. Who am I? Because again, I didn't think I was shit. I thought I was put on this earth for other people's benefits, you guys. The only joy I had at the time was being a mom. And I did not let that stop me because they believed in me. So it took me reaching out to them. That is the biggest hurdle anybody can face, is reaching out and saying, help me. If you're willing to reach out to me and say, help me, and get on the phone with me, I'm going to help you through this. I'm going to hold on to you, and we're going to do what we can do. If you're not willing to get on the phone with me, then I wait. When I had another gal, she hit the VIPs, she hit the iPad, and then she died. And then she messages me and she said, okay, I'm ready. What can I do? I'm like, let's get on the phone. 2 months went by before I got a response. Okay, I'm really ready this time. All right, let's get on the phone. Another month. I would not help her till she got on the phone with me, because that's when I knew she really was ready. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. So when she finally got on the phone with me, then she grew to 12K, right? But I cannot help you if you're not willing to let me help you. And it's not going to be through a chat. It's not going to be just reading a book. You have to actually get on the phone with me and let's talk this through. Like, and I can't babysit everybody. I cannot reach out to every promoter on my team every day and say, okay, what can we do today? You have to be willing to go. I love everybody on my team. Even if they only bring $100 in volume, that's fine. I'm never going to push anybody past what they want or past what they're willing to do. Right. So I know, like with Janelle, I know I can push the hell out of her. Right. Like I know what I can do with her. I may have another promoter that I'm like, they're happy at 12K. There's nothing I can do about that. They know I'm here. I reach out every now and then and we just chat, but I cannot tell them, let's go do this, because they pull back. They're not ready. So it's just like when you have a customer that you know needs this product, you can't push them. You can't make them, right? They have to be ready. And it's the same with promoters. And when they start going backwards, I mean, again, they have to reach up to me. I can't help them if they're not wanting me to help them. But I want all of you to know, even though you hit 200K, you're still going to be fighting these mindset things, right? And even if you came in positive, you still have those issues. Everybody has the fear of judgment. And every fear that you have is going to circle around to being worried about what other people think. What if I fail? Well, if I fail, these people are going to laugh at me. That's fearing that judgment, right? You have to get past that. And the way I got past it is I just put blinders on. If they laugh at me, they laugh at me. Oh, well, because
Well,
my stuff
I
is
will
on
tell
that.
I will tell you that everybody that's on here knows that Chas is not the one to be speechless, but just listening to you has just, I am just blown away, because your realness and just your transparency is, I think, we went through 2020 and people are tired of fake. People are tired of thinking that we come into this business, we come into this industry, we hit these amazing bonuses, everybody just falls at our doorstep wanting to get more energy and to change. But I love what you said about the 36 years of negativity. And we come into this business and we think, oh, well, I'm going to do some self-development for 6 months or 2 years, and I'm going to fix 36 years of brokenness. We're wrong. And as I'm watching our team or the ranks are just flying through, I'm looking back at them and I'm going, what are they doing that a lot of people aren't doing anymore? And I always say we were Spamela Pamelas in the beginning, and we just did not care. We were sharing, we were talking about our product, and now we've gotten to the point, so many people have gotten to the point is, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want people to think that I'm just sharing my transformation. I don't want to be selfish. And the ones that are advancing, the ones that are rank advancing this month, they are sharing. They're sharing their excitement, and they're not caring about what people are saying to them, the people that are not believing in them, the not trusting. And, as we grow, and maybe you've been in a long time and you're like, well, I did all of those things. Tell us how we have to keep doing all of those things. It's Transformation Tuesday, and I can promise you, I'm going to find your transformation, and I'm sharing your transformation, sister. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got to meet this amazing woman. Look at her transformation.
I actually just shared one on March 24th because that was my birthday and I turned 45. And it's like, if you find that one, you'll see a great before and after. But something I want to pick up on is what you were saying about being salesy and selfish and all of this. So I actually, when I started, I even made a post and like, I'm not going to share about it every day because I don't want to annoy you. Da, 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 da. But then something would happen with Thrive with me or my friends or family, and I had to share. I couldn't stop. Right. I still work with the whole, oh God, I'm being salesy thing. It still hits me sometimes. And what I have to remind myself is I'm not going after this for the almighty dollar anymore. At first, yes, because I needed it. I was broke, you guys. I was facing foreclosure. And I have a son. I have to be able to do more than just ramen soup, noodles for soup or for dinner, right? And I flipped it around to, I'm not just going for that sale. This is a product that literally can change their lives. This isn't clothing. This isn't makeup. This isn't eyelashes. There's nothing wrong with those, but those don't physically change somebody's life. And then this business, think about this. You're all thinking about these bonuses and stuff like that. I came in wanting $20 a week. Who do you know out there that $20 a week would be life-changing? Because it was for me. I was the one at the cash register in tears having to put stuff back because I didn't have the money. My son loved to bag the groceries and I'd have to have him take it out of the bag. There's people like me that are begging for this opportunity and you can't be in their wallet. What if Lori had said, oh, because let me tell you guys, I was all negative Nelly on Facebook. Everybody knew what was going on in my life, okay? They didn't know the true depths, but they knew. What if she had let that knowledge, knowing I had no money, stop her from helping me? Where would she be? Right? Where would all the people that are under me whose lives have changed because of this product, because of this business, where would they be? So when you don't share, that's being selfish because you are keeping somebody from changing their life.
And I want to interject on the fact that I can see there's a lot of spots in your story that still like I can see the emotion that just comes out. And I still feel like that $20, still you remember what it felt like. And a lot of times people think, well, we're all about car bonuses and all of this financial freedom. Well, I'm like you. I remember what it feels like to not have power. And it had nothing to do with the power outage. It had everything to do with the bounce check. It had everything to do with a repossessed car. It had and I love that right there is something that I see. People get to that 12K, which is our sweet spot. And then they forget why they started. They forget, and I admire that passion that I see in you as a 200K and beyond leader. That $20, it brings you back to, I remember what it felt like. And that's what keeps us going, is because we remember. And a lot of times people don't remember. They start, buying the things and having the things. And it's like, we forget real quick where we came from. And staying in a position of, look, I remember when $400 was a huge thing. So today, as payday, Lisa always says we get paid twice on Tuesday, because I don't know about y'all, but Michele has filled my cup beyond measure. And then we're going to get a paycheck. And maybe your paycheck is not exactly where you want it to be. But how many things I'm just looking through this, and I love what you said. We're going to sign you up as a promoter so that you can just avoid that auto ship. That is gold. I am totally stealing that. I love where you said, people can only see that next step. They can't see the big picture, and yes, they're saying, I'm going to miss this, this promo period. And you've been in since 2016. And how many times has Lavelle come back out and bam, hit us with another one? There's
that big picture thing. A lot of people can, the vision boards. Okay. You can put the vision boards up of the house you want, the vacation you want, or whatever. Some of you can, and that's okay, because I couldn't. It took me 3 years to do my first vision board. I could not see that far in advance because I never had that. I didn't know it was actually possible because I didn't have it. I grew up poor. My family was poor. Their family was poor. Like, we were always poor. So when all of a sudden, my first check was $12. And then you get that $2 fee. I had $10 and I was ecstatic. Okay. $10. And I was ecstatic. Who would, so it's okay to go, you have to talk to your people or reach up to your leadership and be open and honest and say, I can't see the big picture. And then you have to be willing to not force them to see the big picture sometimes, because that actually will stop people. So I had to look at, the way I looked at the VIP reset is one person at a time. I need one customer. I'd get that customer. Okay, I need one customer. Get that customer. Okay, I need one promoter. That's how I had to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's nothing wrong with, okay, I need 4,000 in volume and I'm gonna break it down to $200 a pop, and do it like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that you're going to have both of those types of people on your team, and you have to know how to work with both of them. And the biggest thing with people like me I'm 200K, I hit 200K in 2018, and I'm still a small picture person. I can do a vision board now, but I still can't see next year, what would I like? My big pictures are, I just got my kitchen remodeled. I was able to spend $19,000 on a kitchen remodel, and it didn't hurt. And I went from
during a pandemic and the economy crisis. I mean, it's so awesome. I love that. And I think that's one of the things is for people to understand that, we have to look at, we've got to take the jealousy, the comparison out. We've got to shift our words from why can I to how can I?
Yes.
And that's what I'm hearing in your story. And I love like everything that you've said. I mean, I love the fact that you shared about retreats, because that was one. I always do an audit on our team, and I look at who are the people that are advancing. And not to brag, but 95% of the ones that just rank advanced in this last month had been to some type of retreat. And they got to that right there that you said is so profound. They went to that hurt and that pain that may have been going on for 36 years in their life, in their personal life, and that carried into this industry, because rejection, doubt, unbelief, limiting mindset, all of that, if that's something you've battled for all these years, you've got to work through it. But a lot of times we don't see that that's what's holding us back. And being able to go to a retreat where you can get vulnerable and you can say, like, I don't believe in myself. And people will be like, what? You're 200K, like your world is perfect. You don't believe in yourself.
Oh my God.
No.
So I actually went to a retreat shortly after I hit 200K, and I had not hit it for 2 months since then. So I had the mindset of, I'm not a real 200K. All right. I'm not a true leader. And at the end of the retreat, Elise asked all the 200Ks to come up to the front, and we were going to do a Q&A. And all the other 200Ks went up front and sat down, and I didn't get up. And Beth Graves turns and looks at me and she says, get up here. And I'm like, me? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I still had that mindset issue. And now of course it's different. It's like, it doesn't matter what my volume is, as far as my mind is, who I am as a person. And everybody's definition of success is different. Success to Corey might be 12K, while success to Chastity is a millionaire, while success to Monica is paying her baby's doctor's bill or something, right? There's different levels to success. The one thing that success never has is a deadline. So it doesn't matter how long.
I love the other part that you said was you set a goal, and then if you missed it, you change the date. A lot of people mark it out and they're like, I can't do this, but you change the date. And what I've learned, and I had to be corrected, and I as a as a mentor and coach and leader, I love to learn, and I will never stop learning. But you're talking about success, and I learned some people want success. Some people want to be a significant influence in the world, maybe philanthropy work or giving back. And some people just want stability. They just want to not worry about where they want to be on auto pay for all their bills and never have to worry about it again. And that is okay. Now, I don't want to leave without, I can't tell you, it's just, gosh, I am going to go creep you, just so you know, creeper in the house, I will be creeping you. And if you did not grab on your stories right now, this is your chance. Over 250 business partners, go grab and snag for your stories. People are watching, and, share. Oh my gosh, my friend Michele, because she's our friend. If you're a thriver, you're our friend. One of the biggest things that I loved to Michele was that you said, The jealousy got the best of the person, some leadership or whatever, not to bring up that, but you didn't quit because you reached up. And reaching up is sometimes the hardest thing to do, but it is the bravest thing to do. So if you're struggling, get with someone that you admire, let them do an audit, be willing to let them tell you, here's where I'm seeing the gaps and the flaws are, and let them guide you. But I can't get off of this. We've heard the struggle and the journey. So tell me just a little bit, because I love, so now what are some things that you've been able to do with that son of yours? I mean, he's what, how old now?
16.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
what are some things
Okay.
that life looks different now for you guys?
So thankfully we have the same kind of humor and what we love to do and stuff like that. And just a little backup before Thrive, you guys, I worked full time, 8 to 5. And I actually remember crying when I had to put him in daycare at 8 weeks, because I knew he was going to be spending more time with them than me. And I never got to do vacations ever. We couldn't afford it. My vacation days were like sick days or doctor's days or whatever. Right. So when this started happening, the first thing I thought of was, what can I do with my son? And after I hit those bonuses, I did decide to work this full time, and I quit my job. And my first day, the most exciting thing for me was being able to be at the end of my driveway and get my son off the bus, or being able to go pick him up. And I went and picked him up, and I had him open the trunk to put his book bag, and there were suitcases. And he's like, what are we doing? I'm like, we're going to Carowinds. Like, that's what I was able to do. And we moved to Florida to be closer to my sponsor, because she was also my best friend, still is. I mean, she's actually rooming with me right now. I've been able to help other people do what they're doing, but for my son and I, like, we go to the movies every week, and of course during the pandemic we had to stop that for a little bit, but we still do it. But we went to Universal Studios, and we've gone to Disney, and we're now annual pass holders with Universal Studios. And just for the hell of it, for my 45th birthday, we went and stayed at a resort, because I'm an hour away from there. Okay. We went and stayed at a resort and took our dogs. And that's where I spent my 45th birthday, was at Universal Studios with my son, riding the rides and enjoying life and laughing. And I have been on more vacations in the past 5 years than my entire life. But the one thing I'll tell you guys is I've never taken a day off. Now let that sit in your mind. Even in Cabo, I've never been out of the country until Thrive. Even in Cabo, working from my phone. My sponsor, Lori, we joke about it. We were riding camels on the beach, and she's working on her phone, because we can literally work from anywhere. I was working at Universal Studios. I thrive loud and proud. It's on my shirt. It's on my sticker. I mean, I'm a thriver. It's on my hat. My car. Oh my God. I went from a 90,000 miles Suzuki Kizashi to I now own a 2020 Lexus IS 300 F Sport that is tatted out. You can be in the sky and you can tell I'm a thriver. And I feel like a badass driving that car. And I'm proud of it. I don't let it hold me back. What do all these people think? I don't care what they think, because I'm putting food on my son's table. I'm paying my bills. I'm helping other people do it. And I am setting him up to where he doesn't have to suffer like I did.
Oh, Michele, I need y'all. We have a few more minutes. I need y'all to blow up the chat and tell me what you got from this, because I want Michele to go back and watch all of this. I know everybody, your Transformation Tuesday will probably be all over the universe today. Michele, I can't tell you. I know Lisa says it all the time, but it is an honor to be partnered with people, sideline, upline, downline, that are real. I just love the realness. And I have like a little bit of FOMO, because I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to be around you, but girl, you're stuck with me now. When you see that follow, I'm going to be following you, because I love your vibe. And I love your story of overcoming, and you're the fact that you're grateful, the fact that you didn't quit, the fact, I mean, maybe there's something to that Klawitter last name. Like, you're going to claw yourself out of everything. And, I believe in those little small things, but there's just so much. If you did not, I mean, this is one of those, and I love podcasts and all kinds of things, but these are the types of Zooms and If you're not connected to our vault, that vault is open for everyone. All of our Zooms, our morning lives, everything that we have, you can go back, you can snag that. And on that day, when you're struggling with self-doubt, when you're struggling with your leader doesn't like you anymore and they cut you out or they gave up, you can come back to Michelle's story. When you know a story of a single mom, you can come back and say, hey, you got to hear Michelle's story, because if you don't get lit on fire by Michelle's story, like, you don't have a pulse. And so I just have to say, on behalf of Lisa's been doing this, I think, for 2.5 years, interviewing different 200Ks. And it is so exciting to see people that you don't give up, and you don't give in. And so, Michele, just the final thing, and I can't wait. So I'll be creeping you in just a little bit. I can't wait to see your story and all of the things. But if you would just, somebody that's here, they're feeling a little discouraged, give us a power word for them. And maybe they're a leader that they don't, they're stepping into that new level of leadership. I know a lot of people think that they rank into leadership, and you don't. You grow into leadership. And just because you get a 40K, 80K, 200K promotion, that doesn't mean that you're ready to lead. You still have to be growing. So give us a couple for those two people that, they're feeling doubtful, and then those that have taken on some new roles.
So I know we hear a lot of time, it's your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you promoting? And some people will even say your why has to make you cry, which, as you guys have learned, I'm very emotional, and I'm actually doing really good with not crying as much as I could. Okay. But your why doesn't always necessarily have to make you cry. It just has to be something that you're like, I have to do this. And then you have to decide. That is the word. Okay. You have to decide you're going to do it. Because when you say, I'll try, your mind's like, okay, maybe. If you say maybe, same thing. If you say, I am going to do this, it's happening, your mind's like, oh shit, we need to make this happen. Right. And it really is. I mean, it's such a hard thing to wrap my head around, because I didn't even know about all this mindset stuff, how powerful our minds really are. Because my mind is my biggest bully, but it's also my biggest cheerleader. Like, how weird is that? So you have to decide. And then I actually picked a word of the year this year, and my word was freedom. And I don't mean freedom from a mask. Okay. I mean freedom that I literally control my life now. Nobody else does. Freedom that I don't feel like I have to bow down and be just a piece of skin for somebody. I matter. Freedom that I am able to go wherever the heck I want to go and not worry about it, and not worry about how I'm going to pay for it. Because I know if I just got to step on the gas a little bit and help a couple more people do whatever they want to do. Right. So my words are decide. You have to decide this is what's going to happen. And whatever that rank is, if it's not 200K right now, that's fine. Whatever it is, if it's just $400 in volume, that's fine. But decide you're going to make it happen. Right. And then remember and think, what kind of freedom would you like to have? Would you like the freedom of being able to work from anywhere? Or would you like the freedom of not having to put those groceries back? Or would you like the freedom of being able to go out to Outback and your son wants to order a filet mignon and you're like, okay? Or would you like the freedom of having all your bills paid a month in advance, or being able to put everything on auto pay? Whatever it is, that can be your why. Your why does not have to make you cry. Your why has to make you decide.
Oh, that's so good, Michele. I'm telling y'all, I'm like, hype squad, cheer squad for you, girl. I mean, this is so good. And I think it was just so perfect. I don't believe in coincidence. I'm a Godcidence kind of girl. And I think we needed this today. And I'll just be honest, I needed it today.
I did too. I mean, I'm speaking to myself as well, you guys, not just you.
But I love the overcoming spirit that you have. And I know there's so many on here that just benefited. And just, again, I honor you. I honor the overcoming. I honor you for sharing your truth and being transparent, because I believe that 2021 is definitely, people are tired of the fake and the filter and not knowing what to believe. So thank you for living full out in front of us. And thank you for sharing your truth. Guys, it is payday time. And if your check is more than you could ever believe, think, or imagine, make sure that you sit in that place of gratitude and be grateful for the things that you have. If your check is just not where you want it to be, I challenge you to what Michele said, decide today that I am in it for the long haul. And instead of why can't I, how can I? And you heard what she said. And I don't know, I don't mean to take credit for the quote, but it's in this industry, the more people that you help get what they want, the more that you will have for yourself. So congratulations, Michele, to an incredible journey. And you're stuck with me. And I can't wait to continue to get to know a little more about you. On behalf of Lisa K. Fuller, I would say thank you. And guys, make sure you share this and get people connected to these. These are power calls every Tuesday. Same time, same space. Danny, thank you for always serving us and recording. We love you all. Happy Tuesday. Happy payday. We'll see you same time next week.